We are just about to start our weekly session. We just have a quick check my stream. So we are just waiting for our joinees, and we'll be starting very soon. Just wait for a minute. It's just the time. So let's just. All right. So it's 3 o'clock, and let's begin our session today. So we are here meeting today for the week ninth, and yes, it's been a long journey, and correct. Yes, it's been a long journey of I think 2 months we have spanned July, August, and September. This is the third month which is ongoing, and we'll be spilling over to October month as well. Right. So this is a 12-week journey, and of which we have already met and covered the content till week 8. And today we'll be starting with our week ninth content. So it's a little different one, as you are aware that every week there is a new content, there is a new topic to be discussed, pondered upon, thought upon, and then we have a set of questions. These are new questions, different from your live assignments, and essentially to help you understand the content, your understanding of the content, and help you prepare well for your final examination. So that has been our agenda. That has been our aim in terms of prepping you in a way so that you are in a good state to appear for the final examination, right? Uh, so we have been doing this for 8 weeks up till now, and this is the last uh, set of sessions which are now left. This includes today's session of week 9. This is followed by week 10, 11, and 12. So, excluding today's session, we'll be having 3 more sessions, and we are expected to have one extra session which is focused upon some critical information regarding your examination, and obviously, there will be a few enhanced set of questions, right? With that quick brief, let me start today's presentation. So, what I do is I'll also join in back up because many times, there are issues with respect to sounds. So as I can see, there is an extension here. I'll take it off. All right, so let's begin our session for today. Once again, I will be all week ninth this session, and as you are aware that we have been covering lots and lots of content, lots of learning to take place from these content. And every week we have certain set of questions which we try to understand, respond to, which basically enhances our learning and prepares us towards the final examination, right? So, a little bit about myself. My name is Abhishek, and I am currently a research scholar at the Department of Design, IIT Roorkee. Uh, I am a Prime Minister's Research Fellow. Um, Prior to that, in terms of my education, if we talk about, I have done my Bachelor's of Architecture and Masters of Design, of them from SP Delhi. It is a CFTI in Delhi, which is School of Planning and Architecture. In terms of profession, if you see, I've taken two roles. One of an educator and one of a design professional. And in both these roles, I have worked for quite a few years. In terms of as an educator, I have worked at Department of Design, Industrial Design at SPA, World University of Design in Sonipat, and the UP Institute of Design in Noida. So Delhi, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh, primarily around Delhi NCR region. And in terms of professional front, I have started my journey at Infosys. It's in Bengaluru. And then I joined Think Design in Delhi. And then I started my own company called Pilava Design with an LLP and that too in Delhi. All right. Uh, so after that, I decided to take the role of a researcher, and that's where I joined the Department of Design at IITR, which is IIT Roorkee. All right. Now, as I've mentioned that I'm in receipt of this fellowship, which is the Prime Minister's Research Fellowship, it mandates us to offer 2 hours per week in terms of a teaching duty. And that teaching duty could be in physical colleges, can also be online and offline. All right. So I have taken up this online role wherein NPTEL has given me this flexibility of taking it. And so I'm very thankful for this opportunity. So at the convenience of home, I can fulfill the particular requirements of the teaching duty which we are expected to work upon. All right. So the general agenda of the presentations are that the live sessions are there to help you in the current run of course. We will discuss and solve week specific assignments. So this time we are here at week 9. So we'll be discussing the week 9 content, and we'll also have a set of 10 questions. And today I have another set of 10 questions. So in and all today we have 20 questions to discuss upon. Okay. We'll respond to the queries and questions, and we'll also do a content recap. Okay, this we have been following. So every week we are doing this. We follow the same pattern. This week as well. Okay. During the live session, we expect everyone to please keep your mic on mute because we are recording the session and these recordings will be uploaded. If you have any questions, you can unmute and speak. But the best way is to use the discussion forum functionality, which is available in the portal in the platform. wherein you ask a question, and the moment you post it, it reaches out to the three stakeholders of three stakeholders. So NPTEL learners are basically those who are enrolled in this particular course. Then we have the NPTEL team members who are taking care of this course structure, the issues around it, and then TA, which is me, who's taking care of these problem solving sessions. What you see at the bottom is your login page. So once the moment you log in, you should be able to see the screen wherein on the left you have the course content and the registration for link. And on the top bar, you can explore. Each of them are important, but few of them are not working as well. Right now, all these sessions are being recorded and being uploaded on a YouTube link as well as on a Google Drive, and both these you can access through problem solving session here. If you click here, it should open a spreadsheet, and in the spreadsheet is generally like a Microsoft Excel sheet, and wherein you will get week wise video links for YouTube. And what you also get is a common shade folder where you know, get all the presentations. If this is not clear, we'll utilize our sessions time to help you understand how this can be exceeded as well. Although it is very, very direct, and if you have been in a good enough time, you'll be able to. Okay, that should not be a problem. Right. So going further, the course preview, the course is Understanding Incubation and Entrepreneurship. The instructor is Professor V.K. Chakravarti sir, who was from the IDC School of Design at IIT Bombay. And then he was also taking care of the DIC activity, which is the Design Innovation Center. And currently, sir is at the Mahindra University, and he is setting up the School of Design there. Very active, and if you follow him on social media, you'll be able to see the kind of activities he's doing there. So it's a 12-week course, and today we are at week 9. And the deadline of week 9 assignment is 24th of September. So if you have not done it, please do it. Final examination is proposed to be happen on the 6th of October. It will be either in the pre-lunch slot or a post-lunch slot. The details will be shared to you when you receive your hall ticket. Now, hall ticket is something which you'll get 1 week prior to the examination date. All right. So don't worry about it. These things are all functional. You usually get all these things on time. So you don't have to worry about hall ticket and those tickets. You will be given sufficient time to prepare for it. What you see here is the highlight of progress tab. There are three subheads: assessment scores, unit-wise progress, and grading certification policy. So the unit-wise progress is quite self-explanatory. The blue part means the content you have already gone through, and the grayed out means what you have not seen. Okay. Going further, you've got assessment scores. Now, I believe that you would be able to see scores till the week 8 quizzes or assignments. Okay. So if you have submitted it diligently in the given deadline, you should be able to see your scores in the previous 8 assignments until now. Right? Okay. So the certification was subject to the examination fee. There was a deadline to it, and if you already registered, it's the best criteria. In fact, there was an extension given till 22nd of August. So I believe that all those who are attending it for credit requirement, you have already registered for this course, so this is not an issue. All right. Now comes the aspect of certification. Now I believe all of you are now quite aware about the certification criteria. So I would request you to take a minute and let me know if you understand it, and I'll explain it with an example. All right. So you've got the internal component, external component, and the overall component. And internal is basically your weekly quizzes, weekly assignments. We've got a learner joined in. I would request Amit, please mute your mic. Audible? Yeah, thank you. So internals are basically the weekly quizzes, and those are 12 in number, but we will consider the best 8 out of 12, and the weightage given is 25%. Okay. The weightage for external is 75%, which is your final examination, so that your overall score is 100%. All right. Now, here itself, the marking criteria is such that you have to score more than 10 marks out of 25. Here, you have to score more than 30 out of 75, so that your overall score is more than 40 out of 100. Okay. Now, the catch here is that all these internal and external can also play a role in your certification grade. And I'll tell you how. So, for example, let's take a couple of scenarios to understand what we are talking about. Uh, Scenario one says that you scored 20 out of 25 and you scored 25 out of 75. So your overall score is 45 out of 100. Which means that you are meeting the 40 above 40 criteria, you're meeting the above 10 criteria, but here you are failing the 30 criteria, which means you will not get the certificate. Okay, so it is very critical. Second scenario says that you scored 25 out of 25, but here you scored 60 out of 75. Your overall score is 65 out of 100, which means you are meeting this criteria, you are meeting this criteria, but you are failing this criteria. This also means no certificate. Okay. So what we are trying to say is that take your internals and externals with equal priority because both have a role in your certification criteria. All right. So please give due diligence, due importance to both internals and externals in order to safely and securely cover up your overall certification criteria. Okay. Now this is how we have proceeded from week one to week four. We started with the very basics of entrepreneurship, evidence-based entrepreneurship. Why startups fail? What are the mistakes of the startups? And eventually we progressed on to, hand holding for entrepreneurship. We had a panel discussion with three members from the GTC program who shared their experiences, their highs and their lows, their experiences, their moments of truth. Uh, to week three, where we understood the methodology of innovation through Chaku's seven C's or the Chaku's seven concerns, which starts from cause and ends at the connection. And to the week four, wherein we saw the Sulara One case study and the Ideas program. Now, week five was about the healthcare and innovation. It was about the medtech success stories, and Professor Viravi talked about it. You recall? Week six was about two special guests, both from IIT Bombay, Ms. Shilpi and Mr. Hayan from Huj Labs and FL Studio, respectively. Week seven was about humanizing the technology and business model canvas, and here we saw Professor Kostov, who talked about it. And week eight was about the introduction to Sign Incubator, Lean Model Canvas, and the success story of Attenberg by Mr. Manoj Meena. Okay. So we've got excellent lineup, excellent content all available here. And finally, we are at week nine. Now, week nine is about the various incubation facilities which are available for incubatees and those who are aspiring startup and entrepreneurs within the IIT Hyderabad ecosystem. So we have got high-tech, we have got this CFHE, and then we have FabCI and things like that. which we'll see in our content recap. All right. So I think now, by far now, most of you have already understood what are the two ways the questions can be asked. Either it will be a single correct answer question, which means you can select only one of the correct option. You cannot select multiple. However, the other one is a multi-select option wherein you can select multiple correct answers. So herein you have the marking of multiple choice questions, and I would suggest you to please have a look so that we can explain you by an example. Okay. So, all right, and I'll help you explain with this particular example. So, who are the team members of the India's men's cricket team for the ongoing Asia Cup 2025? And the options were Surya Kumar Yadav, Shubman Gill, Harbhajan Singh, and Sanju Samson. And obviously, the incorrect answer is Harbhajan Singh. Meanwhile, the other three players are currently the member of the squad who's playing the Asia Cup right now. Okay. Now let's take scenarios one by one to explain you how the marking criteria so on. So point one is clear. If you had selected A, B, and C and submitted, you will get full marks, 1 out of 1. For example, if you selected A, B, and C, in fact, correct answer is D. And B, C, and D, A, B, C, you have chosen one incorrect answer, which is the option C, which means no marks. Now, here comes the proportional marking. It says if you had selected A, B, B, D, A, D, or individually if you had selected B, A, and D, you have not selected all the correct answers, which is for three of them, but you have selected either two of them or one of them, which means you'll be getting proportionate marks. All right. So, which means if you are getting marks in decimal, it is primarily because of this particular criteria, which says that the partial marks proportional to the number of correct answers are awarded. All right. I think now it's very, very clear. There's no very doubt. Okay. So these were the top GMeet learners from our previous session in week 8. And I congratulate you for being consistent, for being there. Let's hope that the same motivation and enthusiasm is seen down the line. Okay. Now, before we start with the set of 10 questions, I have a short video for you to have a look and understand.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most exciting transformations out there.
Just check the volume. All right, I think it's good enough.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most exciting transformations out there. How a brilliant idea, maybe born in a lab or even a dorm room, makes that incredibly tough journey to becoming a real company that actually changes things. So, you have to ask, right? What's the secret? Because an idea, no matter how revolutionary it sounds, is just the very first spark. It's fragile. The road from a concept to a successful business is, well, it's littered with obstacles that can stop even the smartest people. So what's the magic ingredient? Well, the answer really boils down to this thing called an entrepreneurial ecosystem. Just think of it like really fertile soil for a tiny seed. It's this whole mix of mentors, funding, lab space, and a community of people who are all working together to give a new idea the nutrients it needs to survive and hopefully thrive. Okay, but to really get why these ecosystems are so important, we have to first understand the huge problem that pretty much every innovator runs into. This is the absolute heart of the issue. You can have a researcher who comes up with some world-changing piece of tech, but they have zero idea how to file a patent, or register for taxes, or write a business plan. It's that massive gap between being a technical genius and knowing how to run a business that's where so many great ideas just die. They don't fail because the idea was bad. They fail because they didn't have help. And this is where a really powerful solution comes into play: the University Startup Incubator. It's basically designed to be a dedicated greenhouse for these super promising, but also super vulnerable young ideas. We're going to zoom in on a fantastic real-world example from IIT Hyderabad. They've built these dedicated centers, like ITIC for technology and CHHE for healthcare, and they've created these little focused ecosystems to solve this exact problem. What's so cool is how they structure this journey. It's not just one giant leap. It actually starts in what they call a pre-incubation stage. That's all about just testing the waters. Asking questions like, is this idea even possible? Does anyone actually want this? Only after you've proven the concept do you move on to the incubation stage, and that's all about building a real company, a real product, and getting ready to grow. And the support they get is, well, it's everything. It's a full 360-degree approach. You get advice from people who've done it all before. You get to use million-dollar labs you could never afford on your own. You get connected to government grants, and they even help you with all the boring but super critical paperwork. It's the whole shebang. So what does this actually look like on a day-to-day basis? You can see the whole structure really clearly in the blueprint used by IIT Hyderabad's Center for Healthcare Entrepreneurship, or CFHE. They've basically turned innovation into a step-by-step process. This is so fascinating because it completely flips the script. Instead of starting with some cool gadget and then looking for a problem to solve, they start inside a hospital. These fellows spend months just shadowing doctors and nurses, identifying real, painful problems that need fixing. Only then do they bring together these diverse teams, engineers, doctors, designers, to build a solution for that specific, validated problem. Now, you're probably wondering, how on earth do they convince talented people to quit their jobs for a year to go chase an idea? The answer is simple, and honestly, it's a total game changer. They pay them. A monthly stipend of 60,000 rupees takes away that crushing financial stress, so the fellows can focus 100% on innovating. And the support doesn't stop there. If a team's final pitch is successful, they don't just get a pat on the back. They get this: 25 lakhs in seed funding. This is the cash that turns a cool project into a real, registered company that can start hiring people and building for the future. Okay, so this whole blueprint sounds amazing, but does it actually work? Well, let's look at a powerful success story that came directly out of this very program, a company called Be Able Health. The founders of Be Able Health started exactly where the process told them to, with a huge, unmet clinical need. They saw that stroke recovery in India was in a state of crisis. There were just way too many patients and not nearly enough specialists to help them. Their solution was absolutely brilliant. They built a device for arm rehab that uses a VR-enabled platform. So instead of doing boring, repetitive exercises over and over, patients play these really fun, culturally relevant virtual games, like kneading a roti or trying to catch a mosquito. Not only does this make therapy way more engaging, but it also captures hard data so therapists can track a patient's progress from anywhere. And if you look at their journey here, it proves this was no overnight success. It was this deliberate, multi-year process. It started with the fellowship back in 2016, then forming the company, going through tough clinical trials, and finally hitting the market. Every single step was made possible by that support system. Just think about that for a second. 4 years from founding to market. In a world where apps get built in a weekend, that might sound long. But in the heavily regulated world of medical devices, where it can take 8 to 10 years in India, 4 years is unbelievably fast. It's just powerful proof of how much this kind of ecosystem can speed up real deep tech innovation. So, the story of Be Able Health isn't just about one great idea. It's a story about a great system. Let's zoom back out for a minute and pull out the biggest takeaways here.
When you lay it all out like this, you realize their success wasn't some happy accident. It was a direct result of having all these winning ingredients, all provided by the ecosystem. You need that perfect mix of people, the right advice, the right money at the right time, and the connections to get through all the red tape. It's a repeatable formula.
And the results really do speak for themselves. The CFHE program has already trained over 20 fellows and launched 9 startups, with another 8 coming up right behind them. This isn't just about 1 or 2 lucky hits, it's about building a sustainable pipeline of innovation that can solve dozens of healthcare problems. This whole model proves that if you create the right environment, you can systematically build solutions to some of our biggest problems, from healthcare to climate change to education. It shows us that innovation doesn't have to be just left to chance, which kind of leaves us with one final big question. If we can build an ecosystem to solve this, what massive challenge should we build one for next?
That is how we conclude our short video, which is telling about brief overview. And let's proceed
Welcome to the
to the content recap. Now, the content recap is something which is very, very quick. We will not be investing much of our time because we've already seen what the content is about in our short video, right? So let me just quickly pass through our content. Okay. So we've got Professor Surya from the Department of Mechanical Space Engineering, and he has a PhD in IIT Bombay, and he talks about if an idea needs to go through commercialization or entrepreneurship. So which is where entrepreneurship is when you own it, you get incubated, and you start your own company. Incubation or not, I mean, that is something your call, but when you start your own company through your field. However, if you give the idea to an industry, it is called commercialization. Okay. It can be done through IP transfer, which is the intellectual property or technology transfer, the R&D office. Within the IT Hyderabad ecosystem, we have lots and lots of facilities. It starts from the entrepreneurship cell to minors in entrepreneurship, then CFHE, which is for the healthcare, IT, which is an incubator, followed by the fabless chip design, FabCI, and the technology and research park. Then we have got various stages. So, germination stage, pre-incubation, incubation, accelerator, and post. So, to know more about it, you can refer to the same row and understand about it. This is how all of the various organizations in IT Hyderabad fit into this particular timeline of germination to post. And within the IT Hyderabad incubation, you've got ITIC, you've got CFHE, and you've got FabCI. And ITIC is primarily for the deep tech, CFHE for the healthcare, and FabCI for the electronics. So yes, ITech is supporting deep tech startups, and so very much dedicated to the technology aspect. CFH is for the healthcare entrepreneurship. So if your product involves biomedical products, healthcare orientation, you can be a part of the CFHE. FabCI is primarily about the chip design incubator. It is funded by the MIT, and you can be a part of it as well. Okay. This is around the first, which is the ITIC. So this is referring to the ITIC in Hyderabad. And the startup must also have a commercial potential. So that is how it has been explained. For an example here, what they accept, what they reject. And these are the programs that ITIC and through the various stages, germination, pre-incubation. Going further, this is the impact created by tech. So, in a small span, they have managed to create 800 plus jobs, sanctioned up to 5 crore funds for these startups. So, it's a huge traction in a small span of time. And we have like various grant agencies and program partners. These are the startups which are being with IT, and a few of them are also referred explain the content as well. Then comes Professor Raymond John, who talks about the CFHE, right? And the vision is to evolve into a platform that brings together engineers, scientists, clinicians, designers, and administrators. These have been the outcomes, and they have a four-phase process, which starts from phase one around design thinking. Phase two is about the clinical immersion. Phase three is about ideation and brainstorming. And phase four is about the IPR, prototyping, and presentations. Comes up the first example of pre-able health, wherein they were able to create a device which helped in physiotherapy of the patients, and they were able to achieve out papers, critical immersions. And you've got Professor Nakul talks about various startups and their USPs, starting from Organico, right, and to Nintendo, how they breached into the market and how they turned the tables in a short span of time, right? These are various questions which you need to ask. And yes, we can begin with our set of 10 questions now. So what we'll do is I'll take a quick short break, and you can refer to the question here and let me know the correct answer. So for every question, we'll have 2 to 3 minutes. So you can think upon it, ponder upon it, and let me know through the Gmeet text box what is the correct answer. And we'll do a screen validation and try to infer the correct answers. Right. So I'm leaving this question with you, and let me know the correct answer through the Gmeet session. Proceed with our set of questions. So the first question is about the full forms of the different incubation facilities which IT Hyderabad hosts. And these are the question is as discussed by Professor Surya. Select from below as appropriate. So we have got ITIC, CFHA, and FAPCI. And based on your understanding, you have to tell which of these ecosystems are associated with which types of startup. They're dedicated to what kind of startup. So you've got iTech, whether it is associated with innovation, immersive tech, deep tech, CFHE with health, healthcare, or holistic ecosystem. And then FabCI with energy, fabrication, communication, or electronics. Okay. So think about it and let me know the right answer. For Professor Surya, which of these three are associated with what? So you've got high-tech, you've got CFHE, then you've got fab scheme. What they look for in terms of startup, what kind of startups do they entertain? high-tech, CFHE, and FABCI, and all these three are within the IIT Hyderabad ecosystem. Okay. Let's see the screen validation. So if you see within the IIT Hyderabad ecosystem, we have got three of them. I take CFHE and FABCI. Now I take is with respect to the deep tech. Okay. CFHE is for healthcare. FABCI is for the electronics. Fabulous chip. Okay. Chip design incubator. Fabulous chip incubator. All right. So the correct answer is option D, which is ITIC is for the deep tech, as you have seen. CFH is for healthcare, and FABCI is for electronics, which is related to the chip design. A question can come more specific to it. Okay. So just be prepared around it. That will be the first. Let's go to our second question. As discussed in Module 9 by Dr. Nakul Parmeshwar, an idea has a complex relationship with which of these aspects? Okay, the idea has a complex relationship. Is it the customer? Is it the complements? Supplier? Investor? Again, this has to be a contextual thing. Considering Module 9 content by Dr. Nakul Parameshwar, you have to tell that the idea has a complex relationship with God. Okay, which of the four? So it's a multi-select question, so the option can include all of them or just few of them. So think about it and let me know. Take a few minutes time to understand the question, reflect upon it, think about the content which you've already seen, and let me know the correct answer. All right. Give you a few minutes to think about it. Okay. Take some time, let me know the correct answer. We are referring to the content shared by Dr. Nakul, and he says that an idea has a complex relationship with which of these four. Uh, you have a minute more to respond to, and then we'll address the question. What last minute left? All right, so let's see the correct answer of this question. If you see here to the content recap, the startup idea, it has a relationship with the customer, complement, supplier, and substitutes. Okay. So in the question, the investor is substituted, and if the response would have been substitutes, then that would have been the correct answer. But since it is not there, then the correct answers are customer, complements, and a supplier. Okay, so these three are the correct answer. If it had been substitutes, then all four could have been the correct answer. All right. Let's go to our question three. As mentioned in the Be Able case study by Professor Renu in module 9, what were some of the common issues faced by people with neurological problems? Okay, now we are referring to Professor Renu. Uh, Remember, he was from CFHE and he shared one of the case studies of arm able device for physiotherapy practice. So the question is, what were some of the common issues faced by people with neurological problems? The options are lack of digital documentation, travel burden, lack of job opportunities, and lack of respect. So you've got four options and you have to tell which one is correct. So this is a multi-select question. There are multiple correct answers. So again, you can just type in the Google Meet and let me know and we'll discuss this. Remember, we are referring to Professor Renu for this question in his context of CFHE, and you have to tell what are the common issues faced by the people with neurological problems. Let's take enough time to think about this question. Now let's look at the correct answer. So if you remember, this is the context set up by Professor Renu. So obviously these people have a travel burden. There is a inconvenience because you have to take some kind of vehicle, automotive to reach to the destination. And then the other problem is that of digital documentation because we lack a digital documentation and a case management tool which can actually compile all the relevant data, results, pathological results, so that you don't need to carry it every time you visit a. So from both ends, from a patient's end, there is this travel burden along with lack of motivation, lack of objective assessment, and the other aspects from a doctor or a therapist perspective. We have lack of digital documentation. And again, patients don't adhere to the therapy. They will try to sneak around, try to discount on the activities. So the correct answers are option A, which is the lack of digital documentation, and option B, which is the travel burden to visit to these centers for the sessions. Right. Let's proceed to question number 4. As discussed by Professor Nakul in module 9, the startup Organico makes a range of skincare products made from. Okay. So there is this brand Organico and which makes the skincare products. Now, obviously, they will require some kind of raw materials, and you have to tell what raw material do they use. Is it the donkey milk, cow milk, goat milk, or camel milk? If you tell this brand which makes skincare products, they are sourcing their raw materials from donkey, cow, goat, camel. Well, it's so take some time. Again, we'll give you a few minutes to think about it and let me know the correct answer. You're referring to the brand Organico, which makes these skincare products utilizing which milk type? So the donkey milk, cow milk, goat milk, or camel. But one vote for option A, which is donkey milk. Nico, and what milk do they use to prepare their skincare products? Okay, let's try and decode this question for you. Now, Organico is a brand that specifically focus on the donkey milk. It's currently pointed out by one of the learners. The founder of it was deeply concerned about the state of donkeys and how they were being used to carry stuff, the materials. And she realized that, donkey milk has some real potential to it. And that's where, so this way they were able to help the donkeys as well to get rid of the heavy loads which they carry and to make people who have donkeys as cattle realize that donkey milk is something of value and they can be utilized further. Now you can see that the soaps are costing around 450 to that's the price range. So you need to have a specific audience around it who is deeply passionate about skincare and organic products. And those will be your target customers for this particular segment of product. Okay. So, as rightly said, the correct answer is option, which is the option A. Let's proceed further. Which amongst these is the patented arm rehabilitation device, which was discussed in one line as a case study? Now, here we are referring to Professor Renu John. Remember, he was from the CFHE and he talked about a device for addressing the neurological conditions. What is that device? That is it that you have to tell us. Okay. Is it arm able? Is it be able, hand able, or re able? So one of them is a device, one of them is a company. So it's a little tricky question, but if you have gone through the content thoroughly, have been absorbed enough, you'll be able to crack the question. Okay. So again, take a few minutes, try to understand the question, what is being asked, and then reply to the question. Give you a few minutes, think about it, and let me know. A very direct question. Should not be able to take much of a time. We are talking about the patented arm rehab device for neurological conditions as discussed by Professor Rainy John from the CFHE. So just recall, reflect on what you have understood from the content and let me know the correct answer. Okay, so let's have a quick look. What is the correct answer of this question? So we are referring to the device as armable. Okay, and the company's name is Preable. Okay, so please take a note of it. Armable is the patented arm rehab device. Armable is the correct answer, whereas Beable is the company's name. Right. So correct answer to the question is option A, which is armable. Let's proceed to our sixth question. According to Professor Surya in Module 9, Dash is a stage where one starts to transition from prototype to a viable product. So, at which stage would you shift from prototype or would you transition from prototype to a viable product? You've got incubation, you've got germination, accelerator, and the host stage. You've got one more for option A, but we'll also wait a few minutes for others to have a look, reflect upon, and let me know the correct answer. Which stage one transits from prototype to a viable product? Is it the incubation, germination, accelerator, or the host stage? Take a few minutes, reflect upon, and let me know the correct answer. 3, 2, Professor Surya, where he is seeking to understand at which stage one transits from a prototype to a viable product. Okay, so let's proceed with this particular question and let's see what the correct answer is. So, if you see here, there was a table given which talked about all the different stages, right from germination to host. And germination was where you develop your idea, and from idea to prototype is where you have the pre incubation stage. However, it is in the incubation stage that you develop and shift from prototype to a viable product. Okay, so the correct answer is option A, which is the incubation stage. Okay, I'll just take a quick break and see if the recording is going exactly fine. Yeah, it's indeed great. Start with my questions. Okay, now here we are at question number 7. As mentioned in module 9 by Professor Renu, phase 3 of the CFHE process is about what? Now remember, if you recall, the CFHE process, it was a 4 phase process. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. So you have to tell whether it is about market analysis, clinical immersion, ideation and brainstorming, or the business pitch. Okay. We are referring to the phase 3. Phase 3 of the CFHE process as found by Professor Renu, that you have to tell which of it refers to. All right. Phase 3 of the CFHE process is about what? Is it about market analysis, clinical immersion, ideation and brainstorming, or the business pitch? So what you can do is you can use your Gmeet chat box and let me know what you think is the correct answer, as we have been doing in the past few questions. Reflect upon the content and let me know the correct answer. We are referring to the phase 3 of the CFHE process as informed by Professor Renu John. Okay, it's a 4 phase thing. The entire process, you have to tell me the phase 3 of it. Okay, so take a few minutes, think about it, let me know, and we'll see the correct answer of this question. What refers to the phase 3 of the CFHE process? You have a couple of more minutes to recall, reflect upon, and let me know. All right, let's get on to understand the correct answer of this question. So the CFHE is a four-phase process. As you can see, the first phase is primarily about design thinking. The second phase is about the clinical immersion, wherein you enter into the understanding of what the market basically needs. And phase three is about ideation, conceptualization, brainstorming. And phase four is about prototyping, IPR, and things like that. All right. So phase three is about ideation and brainstorming. And correct answer is option C, which is the ideation and brainstorm. All right. Let's go to question number 8. Vision of CFHE is to evolve into a platform that brings together dash towards innovation in healthcare. Now you've got four options here. These are four different professions. Okay, these are the four professions, and we have to tell that in terms of the vision of CFHE, to evolve into a platform that brings together what type of professions? Is it the engineers, scientists and clinicians, designers and business administrators towards innovation in healthcare? So, what different types of professions can be a part of this particular plan? It's a multi-select question, which means that there are multiple correct answers. All right. So, think about it critically, reflect upon the content you have understood, seen, and we'll address the correct answer very soon. To tell us what type of professions can be brought together towards innovation in healthcare as per the vision of CFHE, again, an entity in the IT Hyderabad ecosystem for incubation. So let's see the correct answer of this question. The vision of CFHE, which is the Center of Healthcare Entrepreneurship. Yes, I think this abbreviation is also important for you to call Center of Healthcare. Ship. And the vision is to evolve into a platform that brings together engineers, scientists, clinicians, designers, and business administrators towards innovation in healthcare. So basically, in and all, you've got all four different persona types. Okay, engineers, scientists, and clinicians, designers, and business administrators who need to be brought together for the healthcare ecosystem towards innovation. Okay, so all these four need to be brought together as per the vision of CFHE. All right. Let's come to our ninth question, which is as discussed by Dr. Nakul Parmeshwar. FamPay offers what kind of card for teenagers? Is it a credit card, postpaid card, prepaid card, or none of the above? Okay, we are referring to FamPay and what type of card it offers to the teenagers. So think about it and let me know the correct answer. Referring to FamPay, it is an offering of card for teenagers. You have to tell us what type of card is it? Is it a credit card? Is it a postpaid card, prepaid card, or it is none of the following options? Something as introduced by Dr. Nakul Parmeshwar. What type of card is it for the teenagers? All right, so here it is, the family offering. It's a prepaid card for the teens. It is loved by the parents, and you can actually keep a check on how much and where the teenagers are spending. So, in that sense, it is a very good offering. So, the correct answer is FamPay offers a prepaid card because the moment it is postpaid, now the transactions could be done on any number of things. In a prepaid, there is always a limit. So, from a parent's perspective, also, it's a great thing to have certain value given to your the teenagers so that they can use it effectively, and then you can always have a check on where the card is being spent upon, right? So the correct answer is prepaid card, which is an offering by FamPay for the teenagers. Let's go to our 10th question. Your startup has developed a groundbreaking medical device prototype, but you need funding and expertise to conduct clinical trials. Which IT Hyderabad resource would be most helpful in this situation? Now it's a hypothetical question. Okay, it's a different pedigree altogether. It's a hypothetical question, considering and assuming an assumption based. So you have to think that you own some novelty in a medical device and you are seeking funding to conduct clinical trials. Which facility of IIT Hyderabad would you approach to? Whether it will be ECell, which is the entrepreneurship cell, CFHE, Center for Healthcare Entrepreneurship, I think, and the FabCI, Fabulous Chip Design Incubator. It's a very direct question, but still ponder upon it and let me know the correct answer. An assumption based question, think about it and let me know. It is about a medical device. And if you are seeking money for clinical trials, which IT Hyderabad offering or incubation facility or cell would you reach out to? Okay, so take some time and let me know. Again, repeating the question, if you have a medical device prototype, who would you approach to for seeking funds around clinical trials? Whether it will be eCell, CFHE, ITIC, or FFABCI. Let's see the correct answer. So if you recall, iTech is about deep tech, right? CFHE is about the healthcare entrepreneurship, and Fab says for electronics, which is pertaining to the chip design. Okay. So the correct answer is CFHE, Center for Healthcare and Entrepreneurship. Okay. Now, since you remember this H and the medical device, so H is around healthcare. So anything that pertains to healthcare is a part of the device. All right. Let's proceed to our 11th question. According to the lecture on CFHE, what is the primary purpose of clinical immersion phase in their fellowship program? The options are to allow fellows to test their pre-developed prototypes with real patients, to secure seed funding from the hospitals and clinicians, to observe the processes in clinics and hospitals to identify the unmet needs that can be solved by technology, and to provide advanced medical training and certifications to the engineering fellows. Quite a few minutes to respond to, think about it. As I've told you, we are having extra set of questions. We have got 20 questions for today. So just think about it and let me know. You need to tell me what clinical immersion phase is about. Remember, it was a part of the CFHE's phase 1 to phase 4, one of the phases from the whole CFHE in terms of clinical immersion. What it primarily relates to. All right, I think it's quite good time. Let's see the correct answer. So the correct answer is option C, which is to observe the processes in the clinics and hospitals to identify the unmet needs that can be solved by technology. Okay, so if you see the term, it is clinical immersion. Immersion. Okay, which means that you are trying to immerse yourself. You are involving yourself deeply in. Okay, so the correct answer is option C, to observe the processes in clinics and hospitals to identify the unmet needs. Next question. The success story of Be Able Health, a neuro rehab startup from CFHE, addressed which gap in the healthcare system for stroke patients or those with the neurological disorders? Okay. Options are high cost of imported VR gaming consoles, the inability of the patients to perform exercises without direct physical support from a machine, the shortage of physiotherapists and the lack of quantitative progress tracking, and the lack of internet connectivity in rural rehab. Okay, so again, you have got four options, and only one of them is correct. If we just make this for you, okay, and you have put up with the correct answer. Take a few minutes, think about it, and let me know. You have to tell what is the key gap which the startup Harmable was able to address for the stroke patients. See the correct answer? It is the shortage of physiotherapists and the lack of quantitative progress tracking in the conventional therapy, right? So that was the issue which they were able to solve, and with their computer-based offerings, they were able to track the amount of exercises that were being done, the number of cycles they were. If you remember, 15 or 18 kilometers of hand movement was done by the learner using that device, right? So that is the kind of tracking which they are doing, and obviously there is a shortage of the people who give these therapies. Question 13. The lecture on turning a plan into action used the example of Nintendo and Electronics Art, EA Sports, okay, to illustrate what important business concept. Is it the idea of focusing on a single high quality product or the necessity of owning all parts of the supply chain or the strategy of creating an ecosystem where other companies can create value for your platform or the inevitable decline of hardware in favor of purely software based solutions? So, which among the four something that can guide us to the examples of Nintendo and Electronic Arts? So again, take a couple of minutes and let me know the correct answer to this question. Got a minute left, and then we'll discuss the correct answer. It is about what can be the takeaway from the examples by Nintendo and Electronics Arts. Okay. So a single select question. Let's see the correct answer. So it is option C, which is creating an ecosystem where other companies can create value for your platform. Remember compliments, right? This is what it is referring to. Okay. Question 14. What kind of financial support is offered to successful fellows graduating from CFHE 1 year fellowship to start their companies? Is it a lifetime monthly stipend? Is it a government loan which has to be repaid in 2 years? Is it an equity stake in either as a portfolio, or is it a seed grant of 25 lakhs to help them get incubated? Okay. The question is that what kind of financial support do successful fellows graduating from CFHE's 1 year fellowship program? So the CFHE has a 1 year fellowship program. Those who are successful, they receive which among the following? Let's see the correct answer. It is option D. So they give a seed grant of 25 lakhs. It's a huge amount. So if you are around healthcare and working on CFHE, you can get incubated. And if you successfully complete it, you might get that seed grant of 25 lakhs. So over 70% of our fellows successfully graduate and get incubated with a CFHE seed grant of 25 lakhs. Okay, so 70% of the fellows have received it. Uh, okay. So I think it's a great support from CFHE, and if you are working in the area of healthcare, I think it's a good area to work upon. Question 15. The iTech incubator at IT Hyderabad is supported by government bodies like DST and MIT. What does DST stands for? The full form of DST. Is it Digital Services and Transformation? Is it the Department of Science and Technology, Directorate of Special Technology, and Division of Startup Line? It's a very, very direct question. You must have heard about DST. Maiti, we have seen in the presentation, we are talking about the full form of DST. What does DST stands for? They have been very much into social media, making huge buzz. Take a minute and let me know. Just give me a minute. हेलो।
हाँ,
हाँ, नमस्कार भैया।
वो कह रहे थे भैया हम पैसे भेजने के लिए कह रहे थे, हम पे पैसे भेज दे रहा हूँ, तो आपने दिए थे ना भैया को,
हाँ हाँ,
तो इसी नंबर पर फोन पे करते हैं।
ठीक है, करते हैं, कोई दिक्कत
ठीक।
नहीं। ओके। So let's see the correct answer. DST stands for Department of Science and Technology. It comes in the ministry. It is a ministry under the government of India. So I think you would have already heard about it, known about it, and it's quite active in social media with number of grants and they have fellowships as well. So please look out for that. Next question: what was the core innovation behind Mitti Cool refrigerator, as discussed in the lecture on entrepreneurship? Okay, we're talking about the innovation in Mitti Cool. Mansukh Bhai. Okay, so the options given to you are integrated smart system to regulate temperature based on the weather forecast. It used advanced chemical reactions to create a cooling effect. It was constructed from clay and operated on the principle of evaporative cooling, and it was the first portable refrigerator to use a solar powered compressor. Just give me a minute. Huh? हेलो। हाँ हाँ, 25 भेजा है ना आगे। ठीक है भैया, हाँ, ओके, थैंक यू। So the correct answer for this question, if you have pondered upon, we were talking about the innovation behind the Vitti Cool refrigerator, and the correct answer is it was constructed from clay on the principle of evaporative cooling. ओके, मिट्टी कूल, मिट्टी की जरूरत है, मिट्टी से इसका लेना देना है। तो अगर आपने थोड़ा बहुत भी पढ़ा होगा इसके बारे में तो you would have claimed it right. Okay. The question was, what is the primary vision of SafeHE? And the answer is to create a platform that brings together multidisciplinary professionals for healthcare innovation. If you remember, it included scientists, clinicians, designers, and business administrators. Okay. So there are lots and lots of personas which were involved, and we had a direct question around. Question 18. The lecture used the example of airlines like Indigo and SpiceJet to illustrate what. Okay. It can be strategic for competitors to collaborate in some areas while competing in others. The airline industry is unique and its business strategies cannot apply to other sectors. Competitors must never collaborate as it always weakens their market positions, and government regulation is the only way to force competing firms to work. So we are talking about two airlines. It's just an example given, referring to Indigo and SpiceJet, and we have to tell under which scenarios this example was taken. So take a minute and let me know the correct answer. All right. हेलो। हाँ, नमस्कार भैया।
अरे भैया मेरे पैसे देख
हाँ, हाँ, हम भेज दे भैया। ठीक, मिल गया।
हाँ,
ठीक,
ठीक है धन्यवाद।
ओके। So again, we are referring to this question. What in which scenarios were the two examples taken of the two airlines, Indigo and SpiceJet? Now let's see the correct answer. It was about uh, strategic for competitors to collaborate in some areas while competing in others. So what they do is they come together for the purchase of Dreamliners and Boeing 777, 787, 747. So they make a common purchase deal, right? Common purchase, and then they divide it. So although they are competitors, but then they come together for a bigger thing, which can be mutually benefit for all of the players. All right. Second last question is, what is the typical development timeline for a medical device startup? Go from incubation to market according to the VABLE example. Is it over 10 years? Is it less than 1 year? Is it exactly 2 years? Or is it 4 years, which is considered a successful and relative fast decline? Again, it's a very direct question. Just try to recall about it and it will be clearly understood. Yeah. Typical development cycle for a medical device to go from incubation to market. Is it over 10 years? Is it less than 1 year? Is it 2 years? Or is it approximately 4 years? Let's see from the B able the example. It was approximately 4 years, which is considered a successful and a relatively fast timeline because usually it takes 10 years or something. All right. Coming on to the last question, the Nidhi Prayas program mentioned in the context of ITIC is designed to help entrepreneurs at which stage? Okay, you have to tell key at which stage it is designed to help converting idea or innovation into a working prototype, scaling up a profitable company, hiring the first 50 employees, and conducting final stage clinical trials for a medical device. Okay, so we are referring to the Nidhi Prayas Yojana. Okay, Prayas, it's a Hindi word which means effort. Okay, you have to tell where this Nidhi Prayas Yojana helps in. Take a minute, think about it, and let me know. So, because we are just at the nick of time, we'll not give more time other than a minute. So, please let me know. see the correct answer. The correct answer is converting an idea into innovation into a working prototype. So Nidhi Prayas Yojana is specifically to support you for a working prototype. Okay, so if you have an idea or an innovation, it will help you convert it into a working prototype. So with that, we conclude the session for today, and let me get back. Stop with the capacity. So thanks a lot for joining in today. Again, it was a 2 hour class, so we are concluding that class right now. And those of you who were able to join in, my thanks to you. And let's keep the learning going on. My best wishes to you for your future endeavors in terms of startup and entrepreneurship. Thank you so much.